Hey everyone, Zach here. Hopefully you're having an incredible day. Today I want to talk to you about building your own automated recruiting system. And it's actually not as many steps as you might think. It's actually a fairly simple process. And I hopefully want to take some of that confusion that could be there and break it down and help make it a simple reality for you. There's a new round of the Unlimited Lead Gen Funnel giveaway. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and leave a comment down here below. So step number one is actually making what we call a leveraged recruiting system. Here's a few stats from a leveraged recruiting system right here. A leveraged recruiting system is not necessarily an automated recruiting system, but it's something that gives you the ability to recruit lots and lots of people or have lots and lots of people come to you about your business without leaving the house, without cold contacting anyone, without cold calling anyone, without cold messaging anyone or anything like that. So that's called a leveraged recruiting system, okay? So the first thing we need to do is create a leveraged recruiting system. I'm going to walk you through that briefly here right now. The second thing is then to automate a lot of the pieces of that leveraged recruiting system and make the whole thing automated. So most people in network marketing, as you know, build traditionally, right? Either they're messaging people, calling people, that kind of thing, dealing with lots of rejection. Then you have the next step up, which is where most online marketers work. Now, most people building the business online aren't actually doing online marketing. They're not even doing a leveraged recruiting system. They're just doing old school traditional principles on the internet. That's not online marketing. That's just traditional network marketing using a computer, right? So I'm going to show you how to use a leveraged recruiting system, which is actually online marketing, okay? And that's what most people, that if they're actually doing online marketing stuff, which there's only a handful of network marketers out there doing legitimate online marketing stuff, but if they're doing those things, most of them fit into this, what I would call a leveraged recruiting system. They're getting lots of people to reach out to them. They're getting lots of applications coming in, that kind of a thing. But the whole thing is not necessarily automated. Now, that's not a bad thing whatsoever. In fact, some of our best performing funnels are leveraged recruiting funnels. Things where we have quality applicants coming to us and someone is getting on the phone and closing them. A fully automated system, in my opinion, is when the whole thing is fully automated. Everything from the ad all the way to the presentation to the enrollment itself, right? That when that whole thing is automated, right? That whole piece, that's when I consider the thing automated. So that's why I have a separate terminology for leveraged and automated, where some people kind of blanket statement, even leverage recruiting systems as an automated one. Does that make sense? Okay, so that's kind of what we're trying to get at. We're trying to get at the fully automated version, but even if you just got a fully leveraged one, it's still really, really good. I mean, to give you an idea, I just showed you a few of those stats. To give you an idea, I mean, we have some days where we have hundreds of applicants come in to people that want to join our business, right? We have some days where we have multiple, 2, 3, 4 really high-end applications come in, meaning these are network marketing leaders, right? These are people that either have current teams or they have a lot of background in the industry and they're looking to make a company switch, or they maybe got out of the industry and now they're looking to come back into it, and they already get the rules of the game, they already understand everything, they're literally just looking for another company with another system, right? Those are what we would consider a really high quality application, and we probably sometimes get some 2, 3, 4 of those a day, on some of the bigger days, which is super cool, right? So that's what we're getting at. So step number one of actually building this automated recruiting system is building a leveraged recruiting system, as you may have guessed. A leveraged recruiting system is what we've already talked about, right? It's getting applications to come in and then you closing them into your team. This is going to do 2 things for you. The first thing it's going to do is get you results. So if you don't have results yet in network marketing, this will get you results faster than other methods of getting results traditionally, right? That's number one. The second thing it's going to do is give you a story. It's going to give you a story because you're going to need a story to sell your automated recruiting system later on, or to sell your thing later on inside of your automated recruiting system. If you're starting out brand new right now and you don't have a story yet, right now to close people you might be using an upline story or someone else in the industry, and that's totally fine. You can do that. That's a really effective way to do things. But to get someone to buy into you specifically, generally you need your own story. So creating a leveraged recruiting system is going to give you results. That also equals credibility. The second thing it's going to do is give you a story. So we're going to build that leveraged recruiting system. Now, you can actually even see an example of it. If you go to MLMRebelsBlueprint.com, I actually walk you through this whole thing in a written format, give you screenshots and stuff like that. Go to MLMRebelsBlueprint.com to look at that right now, and you can kind of get some more details on that. Once you have your story and your cred from the leveraged recruiting system, then what you're going to do is you're going to automate it. Okay, so essentially what you would do is package the stuff that you've already built into some type of automated delivery system. Maybe like an automated webinar, maybe a sales letter, maybe a video sales letter, maybe a combination of some of those things. We have all of those. We have a long form sales letter as part of our core funnels. We have a webinar as part of our core funnels, and the last thing we have is basically like a video sales letter combination with some application stuff built in. So you're going to basically take your leverage recruiting system and then compile it into an automated delivery system. Now you've got an automated system that's delivering your message. The last thing you need is traffic to come into that automated webinar. You have a few different options here. Either one, you can create content with the purpose of hopefully driving traffic to it. That's one. Two, you can do a very traditional approach, which is where you're like messaging people. I don't necessarily recommend that unless you're dealing with like really high profile leaders, because it's really time consuming and it's not nearly as effective as the other methods. And number three is paid traffic or paid acquisition. This is when you're actually going on an ad network like Facebook, YouTube, Google, whatever, Instagram, and you're paying them and you're literally sending an ad out there. This is my personal favorite way to do it because it's very, very scalable. When you finally crack the code on what's called a self-liquidating offer, meaning you're making more than you're spending in advertising, you can scale up really, really fast. So that's my personal favorite. They all have their downsides. Okay, they all have their upsides and their downsides. The upsides of paid ads is you can scale it really fast. The downside, you have a lot of rules to follow with the ad networks. It's very specialized knowledge. And the last downside is you don't really build a following necessarily. You're going to build revenue, which is really good. You might need revenue, but you're not going to necessarily build a huge following outside of your own team. So like on Facebook or Instagram, like for instance, a lot of our business up to this point, as of me recording this right now, has been built on ads, Facebook ads primarily. So our social media following isn't really that big in comparison to how long we've been running ads. So that's the downside of running ads. Let's flip over to content production. Content production, upside of content production. You're going to have a following, right, on social media, even if you don't have a big team. That's potentially a good thing because you can exploit that at some point in your future. Bad side about that, it takes a long time. It takes a lot, in my opinion, it takes a lot longer than advertising if you're good at advertising. It's also not quite as scalable. With advertising, I can scale it up, boom, really, really, really fast. That's the downside of content production. Another downside of content production, you can get shut down. Same thing with advertising, though. That's a downside on both of them. One of the upsides of content production is it's free, quote unquote. It's not free from a time perspective. You're going to put a lot of time in, but you don't have to put money in necessarily, right? So advertising, you're putting money in. This one, you're not. Content production, you're not. But you're paying both ways. I chose, when we started our business, to master the advertising thing because I figured, no matter what happens, platforms will come and go. Facebook, YouTube, all these platforms will come and go, but advertising principles will last forever. So if I can learn those, we can always generate business. Whereas if I spend all this time building up a huge following on a platform and the platform shuts me down, that could be a problem. So that's why we chose advertising first. You're going to probably have to choose one side and focus on it first, and then, bolster it up to the other side. The point is, all of this means you need a traffic source of some kind. Lastly, if you have some income that you can use, you can pay someone to do ads for you. You can pay someone to create the content for you, right? Or at least maybe you create it, but then they go ahead and do all the specialized work on it. That's a total possibility, and we have friends that do that really, really, really well on Instagram, on YouTube, on Facebook. We have people that help distribute all of our content, or most of our content as well. So you can also choose that route too. So first step, leverage recruiting system, get yourself a story and credibility, then package that into an automated delivery system like a webinar, a VSL, or video sales letter, or a long form sales letter. Lastly, figure out your traffic, drive traffic to that automated delivery system. Then you'll have people getting on your team every single week, every single day, hopefully, and that's called an automated recruiting system. Cool? Okay, once again, if you want to get a more detailed version of this, there's a written format at MLMRebelsBlueprint.com. You can feel free to click the link below and go ahead and see that. Lastly, if you'd like to join the private discussion group where we talk about nothing besides using sales funnels for network marketing, go to MLMSalesFunnels.com. It's free to join. It's private, so you have to answer a few questions. Once you're accepted, though, you can jump in and really start getting to learn some of this stuff. And lastly, if you want to join that giveaway, all you have to do is be a subscriber and leave a comment down below for a chance to win that unlimited lead gen funnel. Hopefully, have an amazing day. Talk to you soon.